Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Talk. Today, I have in front of me Sjahairah Fleming, candidate number 1 of the Sjahairah Station Party. We're going to get straight into it.
All right.
I want to know what initially got you into politics.
Well, first of all, hello to everyone. And I just want to say, Jackie, you're doing awesome things by doing this, by the way.
Thank you.
What got me into politics? Interesting question. Actually, to be honest, is that person saw the potential in me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I wanted to really, do it in the first place, but person saw the potential in me, and they asked if I would like to be a part of it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, to be honest, I said, I have so much going on. I'm doing so many things. Like, how can I fit this in?
Exactly.
And Cole said to me, busy people get things done.
Yeah.
And I thought about it for a minute.
That's true.
I thought about it for a minute. I was like, oh gosh, this is so true. Like, I have no comeback on this because I get things done.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I decided to do it. I decided to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Also to learn, because it was me just getting into politics, and also I lived out of Statia for so long.
Exactly.
So I never followed really what was happening, what was going on. So now it's like me coming back in the midst of everything that's happening.
You sound like me.
And like, oh gosh, what am I doing?
Exactly.
There was a lot of things that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that I still needed to learn. And I used my first time in politics as a learning experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm still learning, to be honest.
The first time when you started in politics, correct me if I'm wrong, you started with the DP.
Yes.
And now you jump from there, which is a big jump, to a number 1 candidate on the CDA party, right?
Yes.
Why CDA?
Okay, so let me go back to, because why CDA? In other words, why from DP to CDA, right?
Yes.
That's a question that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Well, even before going to CDA, like I said, I was a part of DP, so was Coase, and he wanted to have faction support within the Island Council, that Island Council members can have faction support. And he said this is something that he wanted to bring forward, and he wanted me to actually be faction support for the Democratic Party. And so I said, okay, cool. But of course he left the Democratic Party, and he still went for it. And it was possible to have faction support. And he still came to me and was like, I would love for you to be my faction support. So that had put me in a real difficult spot. Because I'm like, okay, I'm a part of the Democratic Party, and my dad is the president of the Democratic Party. Coase just left, and here he is saying, hey, I would still love for you to work for me. And it took me some time I was like, I need to think about this.
I could imagine.
I was like tugging in between both worlds. And but the most important person that I thought I needed to hear, okay, Sha, this is your thing, was my dad. Even though I spoke to other persons on the DP party, was like, what is your thoughts on this? What do y'all think about this? And everyone said, hey, this is a great opportunity for you. And I could commend people like that, like you're being real with me. And where my dad was concerned, he said, this is your journey. And I think it's a great decision for you to make, because I know Coase is going to teach you everything that he knows. And so for my dad, it was, hey, let my daughter do her thing, because this is a learning experience for her, and she will definitely learn. And I must say, I've learned a lot being in that position, and also because of the person that Coase is as well. He has taught me a lot.
And let me say, when you start with a new party, this is going to be your first election.
This is our first election, yes.
How difficult was it in the recruitment process of everything? Because it's a new party. People might be more accustomed to the older parties. How difficult was the recruitment process in this?
In the beginning, it was quite difficult because there are young people that wants to be involved.
Yeah.
But the whole thought of what politics is about,
Exactly.
it scares a lot of our young people.
Exactly.
I did a lot of persuading. I did a lot of persuading, and I was so happy that I was able to put together a team.
Yeah.
You know, that we were able to have a board and then a youth wing as well. So it was quite difficult, but it also had persons that was like, yes, let's do this because this is different. You know, and what was important to me off the back was getting persons who want to really be a part of a team, who want to be a part of a movement, who really believe in something, you know. And to me, that is the most important thing. And I must say, I have a team. You know, we support each other. We make sure that we do what it takes.
Exactly.
You know?
So then, being candidate number one, I believe, to me, how I see it from outside, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, of course.
Because everyone looks up to you, and you have to conduct everything.
Right.
Was it difficult taking on the task of being number one, or was it something that, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to run with it?
Well, I must say, from the beginning of me becoming faction support, I think I was actually getting myself prepared to be number one.
Exactly.
You know, because I think it comes with a lot of responsibility and it comes with leadership. And I had to prepare myself. Like I said, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand. And even within government, how does it really work? And so with me actually sitting on the inside and seeing the ins and outs and seeing what we could do different, you know, that is what set me up to actually be a leader and feel comfortable in the spot.
I'm glad you say something with different. And I'm glad you brought that up. What can you guys do different than what is currently happening right now?
You know, Jaquil, it's not really about what we as a political party can do different. It's really about our approach, what kind of approach we're coming with. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Sjahairah is not just about me.
Exactly.
It's not just about you. It's about all of us. And at the end of the day, it's about all the political parties. Because when anything happens and you end up in an island council, we all have to work together. You know what I mean? So what we want to do different is bring a different dynamic to the Island Council, to get people to understand that this is some serious business. This is not just a show. This is not for entertainment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, this is serious, you know, and we need to actually come together to make it work. And so that's what we want to bring to the table, and also innovation and creativity. That is why it's important to have young minds, because you bring that. You bring creativity, you bring innovation, you think about things in a different way. You want to bring technology. You know what I mean? So being a young, vibrant political party with young minds in the background, because our board members are all young people. And of course, we have a senior there who is co-host, who bring his expertise, who bring his knowledge with him. Is a plus.
But I don't think that it would be like we'd have a brand new party with no one of experience and expertise. It would be very difficult for them to maneuver. So you need a person like that there.
Because sometimes you think you know what it's about. And you really don't.
Exactly.
You know?
And I see you mentioned the word entertainment. The reason I say that is because I'm a person. The reason I wanted to do this whole podcast is because I'm a person. I'm unsure on who and what I'm going to vote for. Reason is because it comes off more as entertainment instead of not hearing about the real issues and stuff like that. What would you say to the persons that, like me, that I'm not sure who exactly they're going to vote for?
I say this quite often, and I'm happy that I could say it on your podcast so that everybody can understand where I'm coming from. When you talk about Sjahairah, like I say, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about all of us, because it belongs to us. And when you have a business, Sjahairah is your business. You're not going to just have anybody work for you, right?
No.
You choose who is going to work for you based on certain qualities.
Yes, exactly.
What can they bring? Because at the end of the day, you want your business to grow.
Yeah.
Now, Stacia's your business. You want Stacia to grow.
Yeah.
So the persons that you put into the Island Council is the persons that you say you want to work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the people that's working for you. So you're able to hold them accountable. Once you vote, though, you got to vote.
Yes.
You understand? Because when you vote, you have a voice. If you don't vote, you lose your voice. You can't complain about nothing because you ain't put no dot nowhere. So you want to complain, you want to hold people accountable, vote.
Yeah.
But you have to look at qualities in people. What are these people bringing to the table? What kind of person are these people? The same thing when you're looking for people to work for you in your own business.
Exactly.
Right? So I want people to look at it from that perspective. Look at your business.
Yeah.
Stacia is yours.
Exactly.
Whoever you think can make things happen and bring change within the Island Council is where you have to go, because we need change. Yeah. We realize that whoever been running in your business or how your business have been run for the past 10, 20 years,
exactly,
it didn't work.
No, at all.
These is your managers at the top of the chain. It didn't work. So do you want to continue like that? Because even in a business or even in a relationship, if something don't work, you take a step back.
Exactly.
You analyze it. You see, okay, this ain't working for me. What can I do different?
Yeah.
To make it work. What can y'all do different this time, this election, to make it work?
Yeah. And we're talking about different. I was watching your all party plan.
Yeah.
And there was a certain point of the roaming animals. I could remember I was on Facebook scrolling and I saw a video, if it's not early 2000s, it's 1998 or 1997 or something like that.
Okay.
Talking about the same issue, roaming animals.
All the way back then.
Yes. Real far way back.
So you
it
see.
was somewhere early. It was
so you
somewhere
see
early.
these issues is issues from years and years and years and years and years that we have to try and tackle.
Why you think they just couldn't be solved? It's like you're talking about 10, 20 years. What do you think stopped those problems from being solved at that time? And what can be done now to solve those type of problems?
You know, I don't even know what they were thinking back then to know why it didn't happen or couldn't happen. But look, everything has a chain reaction.
Exactly.
Right? And I understand. To fix something is not easy.
Yeah.
And people also need to understand that, because people say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But when you get there, you realize it's a whole nother story. But not only that, you can see you want to fix one thing, but it affects something else.
Yeah.
So now how you do your business have to be strategic.
Yeah.
You know? And the fact that when it comes to roaming animals, who's the key players? Who's all the key players in this? You have the farmers. Who else do we have? Well, the farmers is like number one because the animals belong to you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But then where government is concerned, you have rules and regulations that people have to abide by, and you have to make sure that you execute those rules and regulations as well for things to work. Like we all in this thing together.
Exactly.
Something doesn't just change by one party.
Yeah.
Making effort. Everybody have to make that effort.
Exactly.
So for the roaming animals problem to change, the farmers gotta be on board because it's their animals that's roaming the streets.
Exactly.
So they gotta figure out now how they're gonna get their animals off the streets. The government just have to do their part as well.
Exactly.
You know, but it's necessary, and it's necessary for our environment.
Yeah.
Because it ties into that now.
It ties into a lot.
A lot of
cliffs
things.
and
the cliffs, the erosion.
Yeah.
You talk about agriculture. How can you grow anything with animals coming eating up your stuff?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it ties into so much.
Yeah. I saw another point that you all had was BSN and DGD.
Yeah.
Why do you think like these type of stuff is important for the island?
When you talk about the BSN and the DGD code, you talk about equality.
Yeah.
We're Dutch.
Yeah.
And when you talk about those things, you also think about our students who have to leave the island to further their studies. And those are things that is essential for them to have to be able to get themselves enrolled in Holland.
Exactly.
And so for us, it's necessary.
Yeah.
And like I said, when you talk about equality,
that's the one thing that is needed.
Yeah,
because I could remember for myself and all, when you go to the Netherlands, the DGD and the BSN, it takes
some time. So you fall back. I had the same experience. I had to wait weeks before I was able to even get enrolled. I mean, I was enrolled in school, but because of those things, I was late. I had to stay out a whole another year, to be able to start my study again, just because I didn't have a BSN number or the DGD code.
Exactly. Another point you all had, I think I'll leave that one for now. But let's say you guys are in the Island Council now. Or let's say you specifically are to become a commissioner. What is one of the first things you would want to tackle? What would be your first priority? Top.
Wow, interesting question, because there's so much that needs to be fixed. There's so much that we need to do.
Exactly.
My first tackle would be to fix the problem that we have internally.
Yeah.
Because I think to be able to move forward, to do anything, our home have to be set.
Exactly.
Our home has to be fixed.
Yeah.
So we need to address our own issues, and I think one of our major issues is working together and understanding that it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about Stacia.
Exactly. How do you think you would solve something like that? Because then you're dealing with people. Is not change. People and change is two opposite things.
I think we have to be the culture of change, and I would hope that my generation also believe that. We have to be the culture of change.
Exactly.
So if we want to see change, we have to be that change.
And
I think anybody should be on board with change right now. It's necessary. It's really necessary. And it's not necessary for us because we are in the now. Because you also have children. We are in the now. We are experiencing all of the things that we feel need to be dealt with. But our children who's gonna either benefit from what we do now or they're not gonna benefit from it.
That's true.
It's either we leave them with something that they can continue to grow, or what are we really doing? So if we think about them, we definitely have to change the way we're doing everything.
Exactly. And it puts me to think, it was a time, I can't remember the timeline, but there was an intervention that happened. How did you feel about that specific situation?
Was I here? I don't think I was here when this happened, because I'm now in Stacia. No, I wasn't here with the intervention. I don't think so. Anyway, I was confused because, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's going on? And it comes back to business again.
Yeah.
If I look at it now, if I take myself out of the equation and look at it and analyze it, I felt like we didn't do good business at all. We lost. Because how can someone else come and tell you what you got to do with your thing?
Exactly.
With what belongs to you, with yours, your home. That's like me coming in your house, Jackie, and telling you, Jackie, you got to put this there, this got to go there. And
exactly.
You going to allow me to do that?
Yeah. Of course not.
No.
Of course not. Yeah.
You don't want me to do that. You know what I mean? But the fact that I get the opportunity to do that, what would that say about you?
Yeah.
What does that say about us?
Yeah.
You can't even blame the persons that was in power at that time, because at the end of the day, it comes down to all of us.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
For me, it tells a lot that happened.
Yeah.
Tells a lot about us. And I think we need to focus on how we need to fix us first, because we are seeing that we have a problem.
Yeah. When you get into the Island Council, it's not just you alone. It's four different individuals,
personalities.
Exactly.
and all of this.
And it is very difficult. Well, as you can see from the Island Council right now, it's very difficult to get everyone to go on have the same exact goal.
But I do think everybody have the same goal, you know. I do think that everyone have the same goal of making Stacia a better place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wanting to do for Stacia, but I think everybody's approach
It's different.
is different.
Yeah.
That's what I think is different. Their approach.
Yeah.
You know, their logic behind it, their ethics.
Yeah.
That is what I think is different. Their communication.
That is true. What you think is missing right now from politics on a whole?
Transparency, being real, accountability. We got to hold ourselves accountable, you know, and the togetherness is missing, you know, because I look at Stacia, this is a small
very small
island. Like, no matter how you put it, we are all connected somehow. And we are very much divided. You know, of course, everybody have their own opinions and suggestions and all of these things. But when it comes to, no matter what, if you have this, of course, you'll have different opinions and different approaches. But when it comes to the best interest of the majority, let me just say, because you can't help every single body.
Impossible.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you talk about the majority, you gotta do what is best. Even if it is not your idea, it's still, together we need to do what is best.
Exactly.
And so, that's what I hope is gonna start to happen.
You said that while you was on your journey, you learned a lot. What is one of the biggest things, or maybe two of the biggest things that you learned that you use up until today?
Honesty. And really, really putting the youth as my focus. From the beginning, when I started in politics, that was my focus, the youth. And the late Nora, of course, was my mentor. And she always said, the youth, Sjahairah, the youth. You know, and all this time, and it's so true that we really, really need to focus on the youth, because now they are the future.
Exactly.
They are the future creators of our wealth.
Exactly.
You want to build your country, we need to focus on what we need. What we need in our youth. Because you talk about agriculture, you talk about food security. Who's going to secure our food in the next 10 years or 15 years from now? It's our children. How to be able to do that? Now we have to teach them what is agriculture. But of course, there are so many different innovative ways to do agriculture now. You could use different technologies. How do we make it appealing to them? For them to even want to get into agriculture in the first place. Talk about your infrastructure. Who's going to build your roads? Who's going to be your carpenters? Who's going to do all of it? It's our children have to be able to do that. You know, so one thing I have learned is you always put your children first.
How can you, because even me myself, when I went away, a lot of children trying to study exactly around the same thing. Whether it's admin or business or things like that. How do we get them to influence them to do these other things, like the trading, like what is it, agriculture, welding, those different type of things that it might not look like it's very big, but now that I work at the Housing Foundation, you notice you can't really find persons to do this and do that and to do that. How can you go about influencing those the youth in order to pursue those things? Well,
we definitely have to get them to see what Stacia need. What can you offer to Stacia? What can your input be? But when we need to first figure out what we need. Exactly. We can't just say, hey, go do this. We need to say, hey, in next 10, that's why you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You can't do nothing without a plan.
No.
And we need to say, well, hey, in the next 10 years, we need this amount of carpenters or architects or scientists, if you want to even go that big. You know, this is what we need. And you allow these students to realize, hey, Sjahairah would need this.
Yeah.
Then definitely you have an opportunity to come back and build your country.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of persons that left Sjahairah that they're not coming back because what does it have for them here?
Exactly.
You know, and they stay away and they give all their knowledge and expertise somewhere else, and they don't come back home.
Yeah, that is true, because they have a lot of students that prefer to stay where they are. But also at the same time, they have the other side of the coin where some come down and then they can't really find their way around.
Find their way around. There's nothing.
What do you think is the best approach? Come down and figure it out, or try?
No. I think if we figure out what we need, we can tell them, hey, this is what we need. If you go and you can offer incentives, you know, to your students.
That's true. Yeah,
you can say, hey, listen, this is what I need. This is what we need. You go, you study, you support that. You can come back and you get a job. And you can offer incentives to your youth.
Exactly.
So that they can come back.
They used to do that in the past. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
You know, and then of course you have students that's gonna say, okay, but I'm coming back, but I don't want to come back to live with my mom and my dad either. You understand what I'm saying? And then rent is crazy, sky high. You know, so everything is like a chain reaction. You want to solve one thing, but there's so much other things you need to solve for it to really work, you know?
It made me think on one more question in regards to politics. Do you think it have a lot of things to solve because there was a lot of things left to pile up? Or do you think there's a lot of things to solve because there are just a lot of things to solve?
There's always going to be things to solve. But I think there's a lot of things to solve because there was a lot of things that was left undone in the past. And I'm not sure if they wanted to leave it undone. I just thought that they just didn't do what they have to do. And they were not strategic in how they do certain things, you know. So there's a lot to do. And even when you look at CDA priorities.
Yes, a lot.
It's a lot. And there's a lot of things that we felt we missed. You know, and at one point, even I was like, listen, I think we missed something. And Jolly was like, listen, we cannot put in nothing else because we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic here. And you only have 4 years. And you only have 4 years. Like, how are you going to fix all of this in 4 years? You know what I mean? So you got to be realistic. They didn't build Rome overnight. Like,
that is true.
It takes time to build. But what I think was lacking in the past is a real plan. It's a solid plan. You cannot do nothing without a plan.
That is true.
And I'm talking about no 5-year plan. A 4-year plan is nothing. 4 years is nothing.
No. But the plan has to carry on. So
it has
whoever
to
else
carry
come on after, they have to go with it too.
Yes. And you sometimes you see that happens because no government change and there are certain things that were there maybe in the process, and then it just like whatever because somebody else come on board, you know. So there has to be a plan. That is true.
So I saw you mention about change, but to be honest, we're hearing a lot of things in regards everything. The theme of it is like slavery and colonialism and stuff like that. What is your thoughts on things like that?
Slavery, colonialism, it's always something that pops up. And yes, that was a time in our history. We acknowledge it. And I must say that when it comes to slavery, we even have a whole month for Black History Month, right?
Yes.
And we are always reminded that we were slaves. We were slaves. That's one thing you teach the children. They were slaves. We were slaves. Yes, we were slaves. However, I think it's about time that we also start to teach our children that before they were slaves, there was another story before that.
I feel
Where did the story begin? You were kings and queens of this earth. You want to inspire your children.
Exactly.
That's how you inspire them. You were queens and kings. You know, and now, and so all we hear, we were slaves. And you were just stuck on that particular time in history. You're not moving by past that. And I think it's about time we don't forget it. We cannot forget it. Because our ancestors was a part of that. But they fought for a reason. For us to be able to be free from that. And for us to continue to grow from that. You know, so why continue to teach our kids as if that is just where it started.
I 100% agree. Because they're going to think at the same time, they're going to think that's where it started. Like
That's
you
where it
said.
started.
Yeah.
We were just slaves and now we're entitled.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, people owe us something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, why you have to feel like somebody owe you something?
Yeah. I 100%
You know,
agree.
Do you?
100%
Everybody
agree.
have to do their path.
Yeah.
You know, it's a messed up time in history
That's for sure.
for both.
Yeah.
Because just like how our colonizers, they have persons now that they were their ancestors.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So are we holding them now accountable for what their ancestors also done?
That is true.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we want to hold them accountable. Heck yeah.
That is for sure. Because like you said, you can never wipe it away.
You can't wipe
But
it away.
for the generation that falling below us, they need to know that, like you said, they were kings and queens.
Before they were slaves. Let's
Exactly.
empower them.
Yes.
You know, and they're not just growing up just thinking that's where you came from.
Yeah.
No, that's not where you came from.
Exactly.
You know, so that's how I feel about it.
Like you said just now, change is very necessary. So I feel it's about that time that we can change the topic.
Yes.
We'll go to something else. I have a little segment I do. It's called On the Spot.
Okay.
It's just a few smaller questions. They can be elaborated into much. They can jump into other topics. But let me just start with the first thing I have here on the piece of paper.
All right.
Let's say if you had to write a book about your life, what would be the title?
Power.
Why that title?
Because as a woman, I think women, we are powerful beings.
Yes.
And I represent women. And I represent powerful women. You know, so I would have named it Power.
That's a good title. Actually, it's something that will catch you when you're walking around. You can see it. You'll be like, oh, let me see what this book is about.
Right.
You are a very busy woman.
Oh, ja.
Honestly, I want to ask you, how do you balance everything?
Everybody asks me that question.
Yeah.
And I say, well, people really checking me because I'm just saying, want to like this girl be busy.
Exactly.
No, but in the beginning of me even like being an entrepreneur, and I'm being a mother, and all of that, I myself was like, how am I going to balance this? How am I going to make this work? But I don't think you ever find balance.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
I don't think you ever find balance, but I know how to manage my time.
Yeah.
I know how to manage my time, and I'm just off the back a busy bee.
Exactly, yeah.
That's just me as a person. I'm just always busy doing something. You know, I can't keep still.
Yeah.
So I have to be moving. I have to be, and that's just me, to be honest. So I make it work.
Yeah.
I make it work. I honestly make it work. And when I get home,
That's it.
there's no work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I work, but my home is when I just
You shut it off. You shut off everything.
I shut off everything. That is my sanctuary. That is my space.
Yeah.
You know, where I can catch myself, you know, so.
You mentioned that you're an entrepreneur, like we all know. We here sitting in your building, and I told you this first time. I saw it, and it's a real nice looking building.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I have a question. A real good paying job or entrepreneurship? A real good, like a job with all of the things you want, the exact amount of money you want, or entrepreneurship. But you have to work the 8 to 5.
I still would choose entrepreneurship. Sometimes I'd be like, oh gosh, I just could have had an 8 to 5 job, and I'd have to worry about all of these things. You have to worry about being an entrepreneur. Like, this would be so much easier. You know, but I still would choose entrepreneurship because I think you're a special person if you're an entrepreneur. I think it's something that you're really passionate about.
Exactly.
If you are an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because very often it's just you're giving someone a service and you feel good about that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's a passion. Yeah. And you get to manage your own time.
Yeah.
You know?
That is true. That's the biggest plus.
That's the biggest plus.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, this business itself, How long have you been doing it?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And why this specific type of business? Why not something else? Why this specifically?
Well, before I moved to Statia, because I moved to Statia 8 years ago. I thought about what can I come Statia to do, because I was ready to come back to Statia.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, business, I'm going to business. And I like to get this stuff done to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, there's nowhere I can really go to like unwind and relax,
exactly.
because I need that. I'm a person that need that atmosphere and environment. I'm like, I could create that for other women to enjoy, other hard-working women to enjoy. That was my focus. I'm thinking about other women, other hard-working women who's also entrepreneurs, who have children, you know, who have a busy. Most women have a busy life.
That is true. That is true.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I wanted to be able to give them a space that they can come to and unwind and just forget about the hustle and the bustle. Forget about the kids for a minute. Forget about the man for a minute. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. What was one of your biggest challenges in executing this entire business?
Wow. It's such an amazing journey, to be honest, because it was just, oh goodness. I've met so much amazing people on my journey to even have my business that inspired me to do it. And I don't know what was the hardest thing. Like I just enjoyed everything that came with it, even the worst parts. Because I learned from them.
Exactly.
You know, but getting people to trust my services
is a whole nother story.
Was a whole nother story. Because now you want to make people feel good, you know, and that's the idea about having a spa. People think it's not just about beauty; it's about your wellness.
Yeah.
You know, doing your feet is not just about making your toes pretty.
Yeah.
It's about releasing tension. You're on your feet all day. Your feet. This is what you walk around on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's getting people to trust that you could make them feel good. That that you can really give them a service that's worth it.
Yeah.
Because it got to be worth it.
That's for sure. That's for
you
sure.
know,
If it ain't worth it, they're gonna hear about it.
Yeah. So there was a lot of things that came with it. Pricing. How do you price your services? You know, because you're gonna look around and say, okay, St. Martin have it for this price. This one have it for that price. How can you, you know, give your own people a better price, but still give them a top quality service, which also comes with, you know. So, there was quite a bit of stuff, but I've learned a lot in 5 years.
Yeah. I could imagine. And to see where everything is right now.
Yeah, and getting people consistency. Finding persons to actually work for you or be a part of your team then that is consistent was one of the most difficult
Strange enough,
things.
you ain't the first person that told me that.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's difficult to find people that is really, because that's what you want. You want consistency. You know, because that's how you also get people to grow within your network. You know, once you're consistent, anything
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Caribbean life or city life?
Whoa, Caribbean life.
Caribbean life, why?
It's relaxed. I go to the beach.
And
I love the beach, you know, and I've lived city life before.
Not for you.
No, not. I'm done with that.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Hip hop or soca?
Whoa. That's such a hard one. I love hip hop. I love hip hop. But I love soca.
If you could only listen to one genre for the rest of your life, only one genre.
Out of those two, I could choose another genre.
You could choose another genre.
R&B.
R&B?
Yes.
For the rest of your life?
Yes. I love R&B music.
Yeah. I didn't expect that, honestly.
No?
I thought you were to say soca and just run with soca and soca would have just been everything.
No. I love my soca music.
Yeah.
But I grew up on R&B.
Yeah.
You know, back in my times, we were stuck on BET. And MTV. You know, and I love R&B music. Up to this day, I listen to R&B music all the time. You know, just bring that relaxing vibe. Yeah. So,
one person on the island that you look or looked up to. One person. Only one person. Can't pick two.
I wish I could have picked two,
No,
or maybe three. You know,
One.
because we have a lot of magnificent people on this island. You know.
That I know for sure.
We have a lot of magnificent people that I could actually say I looked up to. Wow. I can't choose two.
Two. I'll give you two.
Give me two?
I'll give you one extra.
Okay, awesome. I looked up to Nora.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because I thought I could see myself in this woman, you know?
Yeah.
She was always up and down,
That's
doing
for sure.
all kinds of stuff and, you know, really giving her all and giving back to the community. And I felt like I have that type of heart, you know? And I'm always up and down doing all kind of things too. And, I thought she was a firecracker. I just thought she was awesome.
I feel the same way.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
You know, so I really looked up to her and I think she's an awesome idol for Stacia.
Yeah.
And, I also look up to Alida.
Yes.
To be honest. And this was since I was small.
Yeah.
Because I used to be doing all kinds of things still. I could understand why my mom had put me in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I see it even in my daughter now.
busy.
Like busy. Don't want to keep still. She don't want to be bored, you know. So she want to dance, she want to sing. And I'm like, this is my kid.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, this is why my mom had me in all kinds of stuff to keep me busy.
Yeah.
And I was in modeling. And, you know, Alida did a lot of modeling back then. And she was also like, she did a lot of MCing for shows.
Yeah.
And so I looked up to her where that is concerned. And I ended up being MC for shows as well. And also, she wrote, this was one time, she wrote an essay. Well, let me write this essay, and I won to represent Stacia, you know? And I think I became first place, second place in the entire Caribbean.
Wow.
And I spoke about the quill.
Yeah.
I still have it at home, actually, the entire essay. The Condé Nast travel essay. And so, I just thought, hey, this was just an awesome person. You know, she is still an awesome person. And we could definitely look up to her as a strong woman, even in politics. Right now, I sometimes I look back and I say, dang, she gotta take a lot of blows. You know,
a lot of blows that ain't necessarily has to come to her, but it's just it's just coming.
And you gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. And I'm saying, man, you know.
Speaking of strong, what are your thoughts on mental health within the Caribbean right now? Or what are some things that the island can do in regards to mental health for the island?
Wow. Mental health is really a really touchy subject. And I think within the Caribbean, we need to really pay more attention to mental health. I think it's something that we kind of push aside in a sense. We're maybe a little bit naive about it, as well as Caribbean people. And I think it's something that we really need to focus on because there's so many different forms of mental health.
Exactly.
You know, and this is something that we really need to focus on as a community.
And what are some things that you think you can do in the community to get over the stigma of it?
Awareness. You gotta let people know because I think there's a lot of people doesn't even understand much about mental health. You know, and we need to inform our people about mental health. How do you define that? When you see something, you know, that's necessary. I think once they learn about it, once they know about it, then you can actually do something about it.
That is true. I think I run out of all of my questions that I had in my mind.
Okay.
What is one thing you want to leave for everyone watching the podcast right now?
Well, for everybody that's watching the podcast right now, I want to let you all know that Stacia belongs to all of us. As long as it doesn't matter the color of your skin.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah.
Once you're here, once you're on this land, once you contribute, Stacia is a part of you. You make up Stacia.
That's for sure.
And we really need to start to take pride in what we have.
Yeah.
And really need to start to understand that only together we can actually make a difference in this place. Yeah. And as the younger generation, it is our duty to be that change.
Yeah.
To bring that culture of change, because our children is watching.
Exactly. Always.
Always.
Even when you don't think they're watching, they're watching.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even when they don't think they're watching.
Exactly.
You know, it's the little things, you know, like it had a time I was driving around and I guess it was going out to the back and like the road was smooth. My daughter was like, "Ooh, ma, the road's smooth." Like, you know, like she's paying attention to these things. If the roads are blocked, why all of these roads blocked off? Like, what are they doing? Like, children pay attention to things,
and
you know?
You do not think so, but they're always paying attention.
No, so our kids, our children, they're watching.
Yeah.
And we really need to leave them with a Stacia that they can continue to build because things are drastically changing. Yeah. And the fact that Stacia is so small, right? We are also a little bit isolated from the real world. There's a lot of things that happening on the outside world that we don't know about or even care to know about, which can also affect us in the long run. But Stacia is yours. Just always remember that. And so we have some work to do.
So people are here. We have a lot of work to do.
We do, right, Jackie?
Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you for listening to this episode with Sjahairah Fleming, number one candidate of the CDS Stacia. Thank you so much for doing this with me. And looking forward to seeing everyone in the other episode. Bless.